I really wonder how I'm going to feel if someone said that they really liked me and I'm cute, I'm beautiful, I'm caring, and generally they're comfortable with me, but then in terms of complexion, I am not their spec. In terms of height, I am not their spec. First question that's going to come to my mind is, what then are you doing with me? It doesn't really make sense. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's have this conversation. Let's talk about this, yeah? I have been, thinking about this particular conversation that Yousuf and Martins had yesterday evening in the house. Yes. And that conversation was about bells. Initially, they were talking about their families, and Belle's name popped in, and that was where Yousef said some of the things that he said. All right. Now, before I get to that part, there are a number of events that happened that led to that conversation. So we're going to touch on it. But before we get into those events, I'm going to ask you all the same question I have been asking myself since yesterday after listening to their conversation. If you had something going on with someone, you both like each other, you both are pretty much comfortable with each other, you find the person attractive, you feel like you're good for each other, and then one day someone tells you that, oh, I had a conversation with this partner of yours, and they said that they like you, you're beautiful, you're caring. However, in terms of complexion, you're not their spec. In terms of height, you're not their spec. What would be the first thing that comes to your mind? Would you feel like you've just been wasting your time? Would you feel like you're being used? Or would you feel flattered that, oh, so I'm not this person's type per se, but we found something that we both enjoy, and so I'm just going to stay with that. I'm not going to get offended. I'm not going to be mad. How would you feel? I would love to hear your thoughts about that, guys. That's a very, very important question because I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. But anyways, let me stop beating around the bush. As I said before, this was a conversation that happened between Yousuf and Martins, all right? Before that conversation happened, Yousuf had an accident in the house, all right? So how did that even happen in the first place? Big Brother had introduced a game to the house because the house was sort of too chilled, right? No drama, no anything. We were all expecting Ricky to give us a show, cause chaos, disrupt the flow of activities of the, of the wager task rehearsals for the week. But the guy was just too, oh my God, it was just too slow. He wasn't really doing much, wasn't doing anything. So everybody decided to introduce a game, to keep the housemates active and busy. And the game was, I think it was about saving the grandma or something like that. It required the housemates to play rough. To be very honest, that was a very rough game. Me, I wouldn't play that because I hate scratches or injuries. But yeah, it was a really rough game that required the housemates to really run around the house, to hustle and tussle. It was a very rough game. Just take it from me that way. And whilst the first group was playing their turn, Yousuf, hit his nose? I think he hit his nose and his mouth on the snooker board. It was a very, very, painful moment. Like, it was painful for me to see. I did not see how it happened, but it happened and it was so painful. The guy was literally bleeding. Yeah. So some of the housemates, they had to rush to attend to him. And glad the camera did not show because it turned out that it was actually really bleeding. Yeah. So Bells was there caring for him. I think Gerard was also there as well. Shiba, the head of house, at some point also went to tend to him. She immediately dragged the first aid box. I just loved how swift she was at that point in time. She grabbed the first aid box and they were attending to him. So the game was going on, of course. I mean, the whole house cannot be on standstill because one person had an injury. Yeah, so the game was going on and they were tending to him. Now, fast forward to much later when he was a bit stable. He was in the bedroom. He had curtains in his nose, and he had a bit of a swell on the side of his upper lip. And oh my God, it just did not really look good. I'm a fine boy actor. Yes. Oh God, guys, when I saw his lip was hurt, I was like, oh my gosh, my baby is hurt. I'm sorry to say, oh, but when I saw his lip, his swollen lip, I said, Chai, when will this boy be able to kiss bells again in that house? Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't think I'm a parent. I'm not a parent, but yo, the dirty things that comes to my mind sometimes, guys. I need deliverance at this point. But I'm sorry. Hey, I'm just being frank with all of you. That was the first thing that came to my mind. This one that this guy has bruised his lip like this now. Will he still be able to kiss bells any other day this week? Or do we have to wait till next week when he completely heals? What's going to happen now? Anyways, jokes aside, yeah, he was lying in his bed, just resting, and then he was having conversations with Martins. So they were both talking about their families, and Martins had explained that his older brother is late, so automatically he had to step into the shoes of firstborn in his family. So there were 3 boys and 3 girls. He explained that he has 3 sisters, and their youngest is, I think, about 19 or 18 or thereabout. Yousuf is 25, and Yousuf was like, Sasif, you give me one of your sisters, or, just playfully. And Martins was like, no, that's this one that you have in the house. Uncle, what about bells? And Yousuf admitted that, no, for real, that he really does like bells. So that was when the bells conversation started. Yousuf admitted that he really likes bells. Martins was applauding him for being courageous enough to like someone in the very first week of the season and to have kissed the person, that he is one person that loves long-term relationships. He doesn't like, flings or short-term relationships. So it's not going to be a thing of you meet somebody in the house and then later on it doesn't really work out. So Yousuf was responding that no, that he really likes the girl, that she's very kind, she's caring, she's sweet, she's cute. He enjoys conversations with her, but then she's short, right? So Martins was like, oh, but I thought your spec, you like fair girls, light-skinned girls. He said, well, that for him, he prefers dark-skinned girls, but bells, that he really likes the girl. He was saying some things in Hausa language, and both of them were concurring with that statement. For those of you that understand Hausa, please let me know what they were saying, because I was just presuming that he was saying over and over again that he really liked the girl. He acknowledged the fact that even though she's short, he's not the tallest person out there, But then this is the part that now started causing a bit of confusion for a lot of viewers. He said that they really like each other, that he's not afraid to admit it. He's the kind of person that when he likes someone, he will tell the person, that he had already told Bells that he liked her, and then Bells also told him that she liked him as well. And Martin was like, oh, really? She actually told you? He said, yes. And he really appreciated the fact that, she told him that she liked him as well. It wasn't the thing of, oh, I'm playing hard together, I'm hiding stuff like that. And he then said that he knows that their relationship will not work outside the house. Martins was taken aback, like, why exactly? And he explained that, oh, Bells had actually told him that she easily gets bored of people. And they are just the same people, that he sees himself in her. He also easily gets bored. She says that she easily gets bored of people. Now, he said that he's the kind of person that in a relationship, it's not like he's a complacent lover. He knows what to do to spice things up in his relationship to make his partner feel loved. However, the moment he begins to sense that his partner is bored, he will walk away. So I listened to that conversation, and the first thing that came to mind was that thing he said about her being short. And obviously, her complexion is not exactly his spec. And it made me wonder, like, okay, so if people are just using each other to warm your beds at night in this house, is that what it is? Now, if that is the case, frankly speaking, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not particularly mad about it because we know that this is now a norm in Big Brother's house. I mean, I'm not particularly mad about it because if you think about it, what really is there to do in Big Brother's house? There's no book to read. There are no phones to surf through the internet. There are no phones to call your friends and loved ones. There's no television to watch, to stream movies, to know what's happening, to listen to the news, to know what's happening out there in the real world. There's no radio for you to listen and hear other people's voice aside the people's voices you're hearing inside the house. So basically, what you see in the house is what you as a housemate have to work with, except Big Brother decides to bring anything extra or any other extra bodies. Yes. And still on that conversation about Yousuf and Bells, it was really sweet to watch Bells tend to Yousuf's wounds. She really took care of the guy. You know, she's in the medical field. She really took care of him. She ensured that he was comfortable, he was okay, kept on checking his temperature, kept on checking his nose. And if he was bleeding, she would change the wools, went to get tissue. She really tried. She was cooking at some point, but I wasn't really sure if she was cooking for both of them or if she was cooking for herself. I don't know, but she was actually cooking. I mean, Bells was literally on wifey duties. As a matter of fact, there was a conversation that both of them were having. The conversation was already on before the cameras got to them. And I think the first thing I heard was what Yousuf asking her what she thought about, is he having babies, if I'm not wrong, but it was about having children. And she wasn't giving him a straightforward answer. And then he was insisting that no, he wants a yes or no answer to that question. He doesn't want a maybe or let me think about it. And she couldn't really give him a direct answer. When I heard that, I'm thinking, what's going on here? Is this guy liking this girl or is it just part of the, the script? They were in a very cozy, position on that bed, really nice. And late at night as well, when everybody was sleeping, she was still checking on him. She was still checking on his wound. She was still checking his temperature. And he was also, drawing her in for cuddles. It was really nice. And overall, I just felt like he was just quite lucky, to have someone that close to him in the house when that thing happened to him, because housemates were just busy with their own stuff, were having their own conversations. So he wasn't particularly left alone because Bells was there, to be with him. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about that whole situationship, all right? Because I'm still asking those questions in my head. Now, still on what happened to Yousuf, there was a conversation between Bells and Mercedes where she was telling Mercedes that when Yousuf got injured, that someone has said that Nomi had a plaster. So she went to ask Nomi for a plaster and Nomi refused to give her the plaster. Even though Nomi does not have, it's not Yousuf that Nomi had issues with, but she refused to give the plaster. And Mercedes was quite shocked, right? So it sort of sparked a conversation online, viewers of the show. Some people were so upset, like, oh my God, when Yousuf said that there was something dark about Bells, it was actually right. Why wouldn't she even give someone who is hurt a plaster? What if that's the only thing that could save his life? Why couldn't she just give the plaster? Then there were other people who were saying that, well, if I quarreled with your girlfriend and we had a heated altercation like that and we said hurtful things to each other, I don't care if you die, I'm not going to give you my plaster. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so extreme, right? But I'm not here to judge, all right? So the question I'm throwing it to all of you now, what would you have done if you were Nomi? Would you have given the plaster? Or do you think Nomi was too harsh in that situation? Do you think that she should have just given the plaster? Personally, I would have given the plaster because if I was hurt and someone had something that could stop me from hurting further, I would definitely be grateful you know, even if it's my sworn enemy that gave that item to save my life. Yeah, that is what I would have done. But that is just for me. That's just one of my principles. I would love to know what you would have done in that situation. So please let me know in the comment section below. Now, moving on to another situation in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, on one of my videos yesterday, I had mentioned that there seems to be a triangle type of situationship going on between Kamsy, Chimsom, and Gerard. And it is getting spicier by the day. The deal is Kamsy had eyes for Chimsom Chuka from the very first day. And she was sort of hoping that the guy would make moves. She's sort of giving him the green light a bit, but the guy did not really make moves to her. She had a diary session last week and she had mentioned it to Big Brother. Yeah, she had a crush on him. So he wasn't really making moves. Now, they were very, very cordial, you know, they jokes together and stuff like that. But they had never had that conversation. So she started getting close to Gerard. According to the way she explained it to Nomi, she's always the one going to Gerard to have conversations, but Gerard would not come to her to have conversations. Chimsom, on the other hand, sometimes Chimsom will pull her for a chat, but every time they have conversations, it's always very, very sexual. I mean, what's that thing now? What's that game they played on Saturday? Concentration, yeah? I did a video about that game, right? Yes. If you watched how that whole game situation played out that day, you could sense that Chimsom was just pretty much obsessed with Kamsy's body, her boobs especially. All the dares that he was giving her, it was all about shaking her boobs and bouncing so that the boobs would bounce, right? You just wanted to see her wriggle, jiggle, and bounce. So Kamsy does not like it because every time they are talking, oh, your body is so soft. Oh my God, you're this, you're that. And Kamsy started getting frustrated because for her, she's not really a sexual person. People think she's very naughty because of the way she looks. There's this perception about her that she's very naughty. She could be very, very freaky and wild in bed. For her, she doesn't really do all of those things, right? She's just a fun girl. She's just a girl. So she started getting tired of Chimsom's conversations and started gravitating towards Gerard. And they had a very, very interesting conversation not yesterday night, but 2 nights ago, where they spoke extensively. And Gerard told her that he's a very, very possessive and jealous lover. Like, he's very territorial. So if at all he's going to have anything to do with her, she needs to accord him the respect that he deserves, you know, that kind of thing, because he's fully aware of what could likely be happening between Kamsy and Chimsom. So he was setting the record straight, like drawing the boundaries that, okay, when I need your time, you have to give me my time, no disrespect, and blah, blah, blah. And they had that agreement, they had that conversation. So they've been good, right? They've been good. And she has grown very comfortable being around Gerard. The guy is very intelligent, very smart. And when they have conversations, their conversations are not always sexual like it is with Chimsom. Now, Chimsom saw both of them having their conversation. So by the time Kamsy came out of the room, he was telling her that he doesn't care if she has this conversation with Gerard, blah, 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 that when he wants her, he will come for her. And there's nothing Gerard can do about it, that he doesn't even care, that Gerard cannot beat him, blah, 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 blah. I say, okay, dude, since you did not talk, since you did not show your true intentions, now you want to be competitive over a babe. So Kamsy, just let it flow. Yesterday morning in the kitchen, Chimsom heavily started flirting with, what's her name now, with Kamsy. Gerard saw both of them, and for him, it didn't take it too serious. It's just like, instead of you to be doing what you're doing, you're making sandwich, you are toasting my babe jaw, and they joked about it, and Chimsom said something about, oh, something is cooking, medium rare, something is cooking, that kind of thing. I said, okay. Now, Kamsy spent time with Gerard during the day. They were having, like, you could tell that she's always very, very happy when she's with Gerard. But then she was having a chat with Chimsom later yesterday evening, and the guy was heavily, heavily trying to convince her that, oh, I like you, you know, really, really toasting her, as they say in Nigeria. It was really toasting her, chiking her, and then talking about his preferred styles for cuddles. Oh, they could cuddle together, It doesn't mean that they have to have sex. No, it was just saying all of those things. From the look on Kamsy's face, you could tell that, oh my God, this guy, you're cringe. You're cringe. Because why is he always so sexual about you? You know, everything is sexual talk, sexual talk. You know, so she had expressed her feelings to Nomi, and I was just laughing because watching her rant, you could tell that this probably wasn't what she bargained for when she was thinking about starting a triangle. But at the same time, personally, I find it very exciting because I put out the tweets, was it yesterday, that I really would love to see how she will handle these two guys. These two guys are very smart. They're very intelligent. They're very competitive. They are very, very talented. Like, they are goated when it comes to talented people in the house. And Chimsom sees Gerard as a threat, as a huge competition. They compete in literally everything, especially in acting and spoken words poetry, right? But now there's a girl in between, and both of them know that they both like this girl. So there's a chase going on, but the chase is heavier on Chimsom's side, because when Chimsom chases, he chases to win. He does not chase to just, you know, just for the sake of it. He chases to win. So now he's heavily chasing Kamsy. Kamsy is enjoying the attention from these two guys. But then the question is she able to play both of them back? Will she be able to do it? Especially the way Chimsom is heavily coming for her. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this situationship? Do you like it? Let me know in the comment section below, because as always, my eyes are on these people and I cannot wait to see how they can carry their triangle. Because for me, I'm not really a fan of shipping, but I love entanglement. I love chaotic ships. I love ships that comes with a twist. Yes. So I really want to see how Kamsy will be able to handle these two guys. Is she going to be running shifts or what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I stop talking. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.